On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about The Years of Decay by Overkill. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. And today we're going back to 1989.
Was it 89 this came out? It was 89, right.
For Overkill. Mm-hmm. It's not Overkill. It's Overkill.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is Overkill, but on like all of their album covers, the words are separated.
Right. It's Overkill.
It's Overkill. We're Overkill.
Yeah. Sorry, mission over. Kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoever this kill is, we're over him. We're done with him.
We're Overkill.
We've moved on. Mm-hmm. We're ready for happiness on our own terms. Kill is no longer going to rule over our lives.
Right. Yeah, this Mr. Martin Kilkenny, we call him Kill. He's just been a problem. He's been a poisonous guy.
Yep.
A festering boil on our asses.
Festering boil on our taints.
That would suck to have a taint boil.
That would be pretty bad to have a taint boil.
Mm-hmm.
Taint boil.
That sounds like
a band
party
name?
Maybe you could band name.
What's up? We're Taint Boil.
Hello, why not?
We're here to rock your faces off. We're here to rock your taints. Everybody do a Kegel. I'm doing Kegels right now.
You just can't see.
I never stop doing Kegels.
It'd be great if you had like
I have the strongest taint in the tri-state area.
if you had maybe some sort of a bungee with weights at the end of it, hanging between his legs. 1, 2.
Well, there's one around the base of your dick.
Sure.
And the other one is, I guess, attached to a butt plug. I don't know. This has gotten away from us. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Life is good, man.
How was your Easter weekend?
It was great. We didn't do a whole. We ended up going to the Chinese restaurant for Easter dinner.
You pulled a what's the movie? Christmas Story.
Yes.
You pulled a Christmas Story. Did you have some Chinese turkey?
No, there was no Chinese
also
turkey.
known as duck.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Shoot your eye out.
He almost did.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing, didn't really do anything. All that. I mean, I can't imagine Easter's that big of a holiday in your household.
No, I mean, we don't really have any big holidays.
I suppose
There's not. I mean, I try to live every day like a holiday.
There we go. That's the spirit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Christmas spirit? I don't know. But it's one of the spirits. There are many spirits.
It's the beer, wine, and spirit.
There we go.
Yeah.
I got to go kayaking on Easter.
That's awesome.
Took it out for the first time this year on a creek. I've never gone kayaking on anything other than a lake.
Yeah, I saw pictures on Instagram or Facebook or something.
It would have been Instagram. Yeah, they ended up on Facebook as well. But I painted Woods Creek, Washburn, North Dakota. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to kayak. There's not really any current.
You just have to watch out for the balls.
Yeah, I went through the golf course. There's a decent chunk of the creek that's down closer towards the Missouri River that I could have gone down towards, but I didn't really want to go way down there because you kind of have to park out in the sticks.
Sure.
And I didn't really feel like doing that. Next time, I think I will. But also because it saves me the awkwardness of kayaking through the golf course and just people looking at me. People don't care. I think it has to be all right to do that.
Well, I can only imagine because it's a driving range, right? Or is it the?
No, it's through the course proper.
Oh, through is the pro course because if it's through the driving range, that'd be awesome.
No, that
would someone in the background going, get him.
It would be. That's a terrible idea to have a water hazard next to the driving range. That's a bad idea. Because those are the course's balls.
Sure.
They're going to be losing a lot.
They want them
back.
Them.
They want those. They need those.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just a little awkward paddling through and people kind of looking at you going like, the fuck is your fucking kayaker? I imagine it's allowed.
Yeah.
Because it's a creek. You can't own a creek, right? I don't know.
You can. My parents owned a creek for a
I
while.
suppose. But it's like, it's big.
Sure.
It's not like a teeny little creek.
No,
It's not a trickle.
would you consider taking it to the Missouri River? Can you do that?
Oh, yeah, you can kayak on the Missouri. I don't know if I'm quite confident enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is you kind of have to, if you're going kayaking on the river,
Yeah.
if you don't want to paddle upstream, which on the Missouri I don't,
No, certainly not.
then you have to have something set up downstream
Right.
of someone who's going to go pick you up. And it's set up that I don't want to do.
Right. Somebody down in Kansas City.
Yeah. someone down in New Orleans come pick me up once I drift all past, several hydroelectric dams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel like doing that. So like the Painted Woods is a good place just because even if I were to go down closer to the confluence where it meets the Missouri, I can still paddle all the way upstream to there's a low level dam near the golf course. And there's a road where it splits where one side of the road is above the low level dam. The other side of the road is below it.
Right.
And I went above it through the golf course. And next time I can go, there's a dam close to the river. And I can go between that one and the next one up.
Is it
And
damn
it's,
close to the river?
I think it's quite close. I know what you were doing. It's
pretty damn close to the river.
I just didn't really care.
Good. I'm glad you've passed the test.
I've passed the test. I will return to the West.
That rhymes.
Galadriel. I don't remember the exact quote when she has her freak out.
Sure.
But anyway, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen those in a long time. I haven't seen those this millennium. I haven't watched them.
Really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Do you want to borrow my Blu-rays?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
If you've got, 16 hours to spare.
So they are the director's cut.
Yeah, I have the extended editions. I got those for myself for my birthday a couple years ago because I'd never watched the extended editions before then.
It's funny.
And now I watch them at least once a year.
I went to a party one time where it was, we're going to watch the extended editions and we're going to start off by drinking beer. So guess who didn't watch the extended editions?
Most of you.
Yeah.
'Cause you were asleep.
I was on, oh man, Christ, we're not even one movie in. I'm beat.
I'm going to go to bed. See, most of the things in the extended edition are pretty good. There's a couple things I could do without.
Right.
But like, there's a couple scenes that I think, as someone who's a big fan of the expanded lore of the legendarium,
of course,
as it were, there are things that add, bits of context. For example, if you only ever watch the theatrical versions, you probably wouldn't know that Aragorn is 87. He's got Numenorian blood, so he lives longer.
Right.
You might also miss that Galadriel gave everybody gifts, not just Frodo. And Gimli asked for 3 strands of her hair, which is important because the last person to ask for something like that was her uncle Fëanor, who was a giant dickhead that is also the reason why everything sucks.
Sure.
Other than Morgoth. Like, he's the second biggest reason why Middle-earth is not a great place to be. And she knew he was a dickhead, so she was like, no, you can't have any of my fucking hair, you creep.
There he is with his red ball cap on.
Yeah. And then when Gimli asks it, he's asking just completely innocent because she's the prettiest thing he's ever seen.
Of course.
And it's just like, I would like to commemorate this meeting of our two traditionally opposed people by, making these into some fine heirloom of my house. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. And like all the other elves are like, she actually said yes. Wow, that's a big deal.
But it's not in the...
That's not in the original
the
theatrical cut of that. There's a couple other things. Oh, there's a lot of good context about Faramir and Boromir's relationship with their father. There's a scene that shows the two of them retaking Osgiliath for the first time, and then Denethor shows up and ruins their party, essentially. He shows up to tell Boromir that, like, you need to go to Rivendell. The elves are doing something shady, and I want you to be there. And it just kind of helps establish, like, why Boromir was the person he was. Because like I hate when Boromir is one of my favorite characters because the whole reason why he tries to take the ring and why the ring is able to corrupt him easily is because he desperately wants to save his home country and he loves Gondor and he loves his people
a lot. Yeah.
And that's what the ring does. It preys on the things that you want and promises that it can give them to you, even though it has no ability other than containing Sauron's essence.
It's like cocaine.
Yes, the ring is like cocaine. You heard it here first, people.
Yeah. If you snort a bunch of cocaine, wow, I can do anything. When really,
it makes all your bad thoughts into good thoughts. Cocaine. I think I want some of this cocaine. You don't want it, do we? This is bad shit. You never once paid for drugs. Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
I actually watched that not too long ago.
I need to watch it again. It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Wrong kid died. I've been properly watching a lot of BattleBots now.
Nice.
Not just clips on YouTube. My sister and her husband have a Discovery Plus subscription. And because I introduced them to, I was like, I've been watching all these clips for BattleBots.
Isn't Discovery on Disney? I thought that was part of the Disney package.
I don't think so. You're thinking National Geographic.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
But I think they already had it, and I showed Josh some clips of BattleBots, and he's like, "This is fucking awesome!" And so they've been watching it nonstop, and then they made an account for me.
Nice.
So I've been using the account on their subscription, and yeah, it's just awesome. It's great. It's nice to watch two things destroy each other and know that there's no brain damage involved.
Right. Nobody. Yeah. That's why it's kind of hard to watch boxing.
Yeah.
Or
it's like
MMA.
These guys are really fucking each other up.
Right. And these are human beings. Yeah.
Like on one hand, it's like this is, an ancient sport that people have been pursuing for a very long time.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's like, you want to like live to see 90 and also remember everything that you've accomplished up until that point.
I look back on my boxing career with Gerbert. I stole that from The Onion. Yeah.
How do you feel about your boxing career? I was a boxer? What did I used to do? I don't remember. I thought I was a steamboat captain.
Am I a steamboat captain now? Toot.
I want to be a steamboat captain. I don't know what I realized. I don't know what Brock Lesnar sounds like.
I don't either. I have a feeling he doesn't sound like what you think he would sound like. Because he's a chunk of a
He
fella.
looks like he would talk like this on Brock Lesnar.
I just think it would be funny just if he has that sense of humor.
Brock Lesnar.
Hi, Brock Lesnar.
Hi there. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm gonna rip your fucking guts out with my bare hands.
I'm gonna kick your balls so hard your mama will feel it.
Even though he's built like the fucking Doomslayer.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I finished The Ancient Gods Part 2. And
Oh, did you?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Is it frustrating?
Very. That, like, I had to put it on. Normally, I play on Hurt Me Plenty.
Yeah.
I got to the boss fight there.
Please don't hurt me. I'm too young to die.
Yeah, I had to put it on I'm Too Young to Die after about a half hour of not even dying. I didn't run out of extra lives. It's just the fact that every time you get hit in that boss fight, the boss gets health back.
Oh.
So not only are you taking damage, but the boss is regenerating, and you have a very limited window that you are able to actually deal damage to them. The boss is basically one giant marauder with more ranged attacks and shit. And so like with the marauder, you have to hit them at the exact right time to stun them and then deal damage to them. That gives you health back. But I'm bad at the game.
Sure.
And so generally speaking, by the time I had another opportunity to do damage to him, he had already regenerated past the point where I last had the opportunity. So he just stayed at the same health for like a half hour at a time in this 5-stage boss fight. It was so frustrating.
I can tell you one thing that might drive you crazy. Doom 2016? remember how I was struggling with that last boss fight
With the Spider
with
Mastermind?
Spider Mastermind. Yeah, haven't done it
You
yet.
still haven't beaten it?
No, it's been almost a year.
I mean, it's the thing about Doom is like, when it clicks,
Yeah,
it's very fun. And it's like, wow, this is like, I have a lot of fun in 2016 because the mechanics click for me more.
right. I love 2016.
The Doom Eternal, I recognize that it's a great game,
Yeah.
but my skills at it have atrophied so much that it's just painful and I just kind of hate it.
Is there an arcade mode on Eternal?
I don't think so.
Because there is in 2016.
Yeah, I don't think there's a specific arcade mode in Doom Eternal.
Because I know if I have to go back and play if I do try to go beat the boss there, the Spider Mastermind, I'm going to have to go back to the arcade, and at least go to an advanced part where I have all the weapons and relearn how to use them.
There is kind of a thing in Doom Eternal where there's not a new game plus necessarily, but you can load your save file for like once you've completed the last level of the main campaign.
Yeah.
It just puts you on the Fortress of Doom and you can do mission select and you'll have all of your weapons and upgrades and everything, and you can replay the missions with all of your stuff.
Nice. You haven't beat that game either.
The Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2 start, they're like separate save files, but they give you everything. You have all the weapons, every weapon mastery.
Nice.
All of your...
The BFG?
Yeah, you have the BFG. They take your Crucible away.
Oh.
Because you get the Crucible midway through the campaign, and then at the end of the campaign, you have to basically break it off in order to kill the Icon of Sin. So you don't have it anymore. They give you a different melee weapon in the Ancient Gods Part 2, which is really, really, really overpowered.
Really? That sounds fun.
It's really, really great. It's this hammer that you like launch up into the air and slam it down. And when you hit, it makes every demon in the vicinity pop with health, armor, and ammo.
Nice.
Or maybe not armor. But if you use your flame belch and the ice bomb and at the same time, it will drop, and it's fucking confetti. It's just like
it's more than you can possibly pick up.
More than you would ever need. It's a really fun mechanic. You can really feel, especially in the Ancient Gods Part 2, how much of a time crunch they were under. As far as like COVID stuff goes, and how much more difficult they probably had. Like if they hadn't had COVID stuff to deal with, I imagine it would have been a lot more polished, and like the levels feel very bare, and like not as detailed. Things are kind of very boxy and square.
Oh no.
And like spawning locations and whatnot feel kind of like there's like several arenas where you can tell like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send 20 of the same enemy at you and see how you deal with it, which is fun from a certain perspective of like, okay, here's this very specialized situation. How do you deal with
20 pinkies.
It? Yeah, they do that.
Of course.
And they do. There's one where it's 20 Spectre pinkies, which are invisible. So it's like they do that. But they also give you tools in that arena to best deal with them. So in the pinky fights, they give you tons of blood punch pickups.
Nice.
That you can use to just punch them in the face and stagger them instantly. But like there's an enemy they introduce, which is a hell trooper. That's like they're the original denizens of what would become hell that serve the Dark Lord. And so they're basically human, but in like this very sci-fi sort of armor.
Sure. They're like disc jockeys.
Yes.
They're people that's the main job is to serve the Dark Lord.
Yes, they're like disc jockeys who serve the Dark Lord. But they have no glory kill animations.
Really? You can't glory kill them?
You can't glory kill them. They're insanely easy to kill, and when they die, they just explode.
Oh.
And like it doesn't do any damage. They just like pop and explode into gore, which tells me they ran out of time to make anything interesting happen with these enemies. And honestly, I would rather them not be there at all because they're so boring to fight. They throw them. I think they knew that, and they throw them at you very sparingly in the last level. But like there were other things that they really wanted to get done, and that just sort of fell by the wayside. But it's a little disappointing in that way. I do like the Doomslayer speaks. The last, like, when you kill the Dark Lord, he speaks one word, which is no. And that's it. That's other than a flashback in Doom Eternal, where you find out that he's Doom Guy from the original games.
Right.
Other than that, he does not speak at all in that flashback, other than saying no. Which is I thought the story was a little weird where it ended up like taking you. But anyway, I won't spoil that stuff for anyone who wants to play Doom Eternal and actually cares about the story, which I feel like is, I mean, they put a story in there for you to care about if you want to, but it's Doom.
Yeah, you're just there to kill monsters.
Kill demons.
Yeah.
That's what you're there to do. But speaking of kill, it's time to talk about
Time to kill. Yeah.
Time to kill, which is a gaming term that's I mostly know in the context of Halo, which is the average amount of time from the start of the game that someone gets their first kill.
Sure.
Which is an important thing about figuring out multiplayer balance. And that
they weren't talking about this.
Yeah, that wasn't what it was. 1989. I don't think they were really multiplayer games in terms of, online death matches wouldn't be a thing.
Nope.
Until Doom. Until the first Doom. People created I think it was a mod that created the first like multiplayer death matches, and that became a staple for the sequels and also for Quake. It really took off in Quake.
Right.
But, it was originally like mods for Doom.
Spent hours playing Quake.
I've never played a single Quake game.
Really?
Mostly because they kind of stopped making them. There's Quake Champions now, which is just an arena shooter versus the original Quake, which had, it was a Doom-like campaign, but it was the id's first 3D game, full 3D game, instead of a 3D map with 2D sprites like Doom. But anyway, we were going to talk about the album.
Overkill,
1989.
Yes.
This album comes out. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I just moved back to the United States of America. This came out in October, I believe.
America.
And
how did that feel, by the way?
What?
Going from having such a limited selection of metal available to you to coming back to the United States, and you can just go to a record store and here's all of these legit albums.
Sure. It was.
You also probably didn't have much money to spend.
No, I was a kid. I was a teenager.
But was that a thing? Did it feel like things had opened up for you, that music was more available? Or
yeah, it did. I mean, and I kind of went crazy a little bit at first. But it was almost like having an overpowered weapon in a video game.
Yeah.
Because, before, I mean, really had to scrounge, had to really talk to people, had to get magazines.
You had to network.
Yeah, to network. And just, can I get a copy of this? Do you have a copy? Sure. Here's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of it.
It was teaching you how to find drugs.
Yeah.
It was the skills you would need later in life.
Actually, I was developing those at the same time.
Oh, okay. Those were
simultaneous.
Those were concurrent skills.
Right. So coming back to America, this was actually the second album by them I bought.
Okay. What was the first one?
I had already had Under the Influence.
Because this was their fourth album.
Their fourth album. And then I eventually got Taking Over and Fuel of Fire. And then afterwards I got Horoscope. I think I have 5, maybe 6 Overkill albums in my repertoire. But repertoire. This is a great. I had this album, and the next year I had a Chevy Vega. 1976
Speaking
Chevy
of
Vega.
Doom,
Vega, yeah.
Anyway.
And my buddy Doug built this a particle board speaker box in my trunk.
For a second, I thought you were going to say accelerator. I thought you were going to say particle accelerator. I was just like, what?
Yes, it's a particle. Yes, exactly.
Your buddy Doug built a particle accelerator.
And a flux capacitor.
Technically, your arm is a particle accelerator.
Well, sure.
Everything's made of particles. And if you can chuck something,
you're accelerating particles.
Yeah.
No, and I remember this is one of the first albums that I put in to test it out, and it rattled the windows. It was way too much speaker box for that tiny little piece of shit car.
I'm thinking of what movie is that where they put like this insane sound system in the car? They're like, let's test it out, and they flip it on, and the car explodes or something like that. It's a scene from some like comedy movie.
I don't know.
I almost wanted to say Wayne's World, but that's not it.
No.
So that's where you were at.
That's where I was at. I was when this came out, I was 15, almost 16. I was 15 going on 16.
15 going on 16.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find the name of the band. Yeah.
What was it? Serbian? No,
Balkan.
It was Balkan.
It was Balkan, sort of Balkan polka flavored punk. That did the entire soundtrack.
You didn't mention the polka part before.
There's a polka. I mean, if it's Balkan, there's going to be a polka flavor in there.
That's presumptive.
Yeah.
Well, it could be Balkan. It could just be from the Balkans. It doesn't have to have polka in it. Not everything from the Balkans has a fucking accordion playing in the background.
But that's what makes it like specifically Balkan, you know?
The thing that makes Panopticon Appalachian is the fact that there's banjo. Like you wouldn't call it Appalachian black metal if Austin never strummed a banjo or acoustic guitar. If there was no bluegrass in there, you wouldn't call it that. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I understand. I just felt like, I don't know, being obtuse.
That's fine.
How can you be so obtuse?
They never pay attention to a man's shoes.
Yep.
Anyway, this was a great album, I thought. I mean, this is actually widely accepted as possibly their best.
That seems to be what I came across, is a lot of people seem to think this is Overkill's best album. They're still making music.
They are. I mean, I recently saw an expose on the thrash metals.
Oh,
and Bobby,
we're exposing thrash metal for what it really is. Which is music.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
To the contrary of many a Christian mother in the 80s.
Oh, I know. This is about the time where I had a wall of cassettes. I had a big rack for cassettes that disappeared at some point.
Oh, sucks.
Yeah, because I was being influenced by Satan.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about modern music. I guess, parents can always take away your phone and whatnot.
Sure.
But you're not going to lose the value of your record collection.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to throw out hundreds of dollars worth of music by grounding you. They can take away your phone and do whatever else and punish you for listening to it if they find out. But you're not going to lose hundreds of dollars of investment. That's if you were not a child, that would be a crime.
Sure.
If you're an adult and someone comes in and, destroys hundreds of dollars worth of your property, that's a crime. But because it's your kid, it's fine.
Right.
And because children have no rights.
And, and I pointed out to them after they took I love my parents, but they took away my cassettes, and I had to point out to them that at least 3 of the thrash metal albums on there
were Christian bands.
I had like 2 Blood Good albums in there. I had Believer in there.
But it sounds like the work of Satan. It's not what your parents sound like.
No, you're spot on.
Oh, that's spot on?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what your mom thinks.
My mama.
Hi, my name is Barry. My name's Barry Bennett. Barry Bennett. Yep. I'm Barry Bennett.
Spot on.
That's exactly what your dad sounds
precisely,
like.
Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect impression.
He sounded like that coming out of the womb. He's been like that his entire life.
Your dad sounds like Foghorn Leghorn.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you, boy.
let me tell you here, boy. You're listening to that.
Let me at him.
That devil music here.
But that never happened to me. My parents didn't really care what kind of music I was listening to, as long as it wasn't, midnight and I didn't have it cranked up.
Right.
I
as long as you were being annoying with it.
I think I got told to turn it down once, and that was absolutely my fault. I can't remember what time it was, and it was just too loud, and I don't know why I wasn't thinking of it. And my dad like opened my door and was like, "Turn it down." Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know what time it was.
Yeah, I just like completely lost track of time. I think I was even in college at that point. I was just home for the weekend.
No, I was gonna say that thrash metal expose. They interview Bobby Blitz Ellsworth.
Okay.
In there, and he's been around.
You
can see the man has been on the road. He's lived the thrash metal lifestyle.
He's been around.
He's 61 now.
He gets around. Been around. He gets around. Da, 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 da.
It's different.
But he's a little fried at this point.
He's a bit frayed. I mean, this is a guy who actually had a stroke on stage.
Oh my God.
He was on stage and everything got all cattywampus. Next thing you know, he's ass over tea kettle.
Oh wow. That's gotta be an event. That's I don't know what the fuck other than call 911, like what do you do?
Yeah, I guess instrumental versions.
Now I got reminded of, I watched some videos again of Vince Neil doing his thing. How can you possibly think? How can you do that and think I still got it? Like, also just like physically, Vince Neil.
Sure.
This is the guy whom the song "Dude Looks Like a Lady" is named for.
Yes.
He was that, like, effeminate and just in good. He was toned in good shape.
Very pretty.
He was a pretty man. And like, people give Axl Rose shit. I don't hear people talking about how Vince Neil's let himself go, but holy shit, like Axl Rose, by comparison, is in great shape.
Yeah, Vince Neil was not in great shape.
Especially considering Axl Rose can still fucking sing versus Vince Neil, who's cannot sing to save his life.
The thing is he's done with that. His bloated ass gets off the stage after having gone for 40 minutes, and then he goes backstage and he still has 8.5 tons of pussy thrown at his face. I mean,
because he's Vince Neil.
It's like, yeah, I still got it. No, you don't, dude. But whatever.
I think it was that video with Brian Posehn.
Posehn.
Yeah. He was watching that for Loudwire or whatever. He was reacting to these terrible metal videos, and it was just like, and you can see Nikki Sixx up there. He just looks like he's fucking done with this shit.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Because everyone else in the band is doing fine. They're in good shape. They're playing their instruments perfectly. And then there's fucking Vince Neil, and I give James LaBrie shit.
Sure.
But like, he's miles better than Vince Neil, even though they're kind of starting to sound alike.
I'm just wondering if the rest of the band isn't giving him some sort of a benefit of the doubt, going, something wrong with my monitor, because I swear the vocals right now are just.
Here's the thing. They open up before the show starts, they open up their phones, they look at their bank accounts. After the show is over, they open up their phones, they look at their bank accounts. If the numbers keep going up, they don't care.
Sure.
Generally speaking.
Although they eventually did care because they retired. I mean, they went, okay.
I saw a thing when I was looking at Vince Neil stuff where it was like, why Vince Neil got fired. I was like, oh, they fired him? But no, this was in 1992. This was a long time ago, while he was still, capable of performing his duty in the band.
Right. Then they hired another dude and they did an album and then went, no. That doesn't have that. And they had to retire anyway. I don't know if you've seen Mick Mars, the guitarist, lately.
I have not.
He has an extremely rare bone disease that he's had for a long time now.
My first thought was bonitis.
I regret that I have.
Bonitis.
No, he actually does where all of his bones are fusing together.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so you see him on stage in the last 20 years or so, and he's playing guitar. He's playing guitar very well, but it's a mannequin playing guitar.
Range of motion is not
gone.
there.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. That's terrible. That's awful.
It is.
I've seen pictures of people's skeletons that they've donated to science after. I can't remember what disease that is, but like pictures of people's skeletons, and it is nightmare fuel.
Right.
That is a terrible, awful way to go.
Oh yeah, I imagine it can't be comfortable.
That in bone cancer too.
Oh, terrible.
I've seen people's like skulls after they've died of bone cancer, and like the spikes growing out of the bones of your skull. It's
tumors of bone.
It's terrifying. Tumors of bone.
What's up, everybody? We're tumors of bone.
Tumors of bone. Gonna burn down tonight.
We're gonna bone your tumors.
Now I'm thinking of, there's an episode of House where he tries this experimental drug that's supposed to help regrow the muscles in his leg.
Yeah.
Which is what's constantly causing him pain.
Sure.
But he didn't realize. So later in this drug's experimental trial on these lab mice, they develop like 1 billion tumors. And so he spends a night in his bathtub cutting open his legs and removing the tumors himself because he didn't want to reveal that he, a doctor, was taking this unapproved drug. And that was an intense thing to see as a 12-year-old.
Sure.
Even though it was on Fox.
Sure.
But it's House. There were episodes of House MD that were kind of on the same level as like Criminal Minds, where it's like they're showing this shit on a prime time, not even cable network. Well, Fox is a cable network, isn't it? Fox isn't broadcast. Well, there's
Broadcast Fox. We have a Broadcast Fox right across the station from where we work.
Yeah, but is like the television, is that just like news channels, or is that
that's entertainment?
That's Fox. Entertainment. It's broadcast.
Like Fox News is cable.
At any rate, this is broadcast television.
Yeah.
Criminal Minds is on CBS, so that's broadcast television.
Great show, yeah.
It's a great show, but it's like, this is on, the FCC said this is okay? Really? It's like, this isn't on cable, this isn't on HBO. Like, yeah, nowhere in Criminal Minds does anybody say fuck.
I don't know.
But you see some pretty heinous shit.
It makes you say fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know what that brings to mind. He had semen and fecal matter in his ear.
Fuck, I'll never get tired of John Mulaney talking about
Ice-T.
About Ice-T and Law and Order. Which they're making another series. They're making another Law and Order.
Really?
With some of, I don't know if SVU is done or whatever, but it's got a couple of the characters that were on. There was an actor that was on SVU for a very long time, left to do other things, and now he's back as the same character, but he's transferred to some other thing. And I think Mariska Hargitay's in it. Her name's difficult to say.
Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska is easy to say. Her last name is
Hargitay.
Her
mother was Jane Mansfield. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Jane Mansfield, is she the actress that got involved with Anton LaVey? No. There was some actress in like the 50s or 60s that was rather famous that was like,
I don't remember,
pretty involved with Anton LaVey at one point.
I just remember she died by decapitation.
Maybe I'm getting it completely confused.
We'll have to look it up.
What happened? So wait, was it an accident or did she get murdered?
It was an accident.
Okay. Maybe it was her. I don't remember. Anyway, I was reading some article where it was like celebrity Satanists, and that was one of them. All the other ones were like Ronnie James Dio and shit. It was like, duh. Duh. Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, that was when I was like, really? Her? Well, okay. This blonde starlet, probably wasn't Jane Mansfield, but it was somebody. It was just interested in Satanism. Okay.
Dolly Parton. No, it was not. It was not.
That would make Dolly Parton even more cool in my eyes.
Yeah, sure. And more interesting.
For whatever reason, I think I was just reading about, I read a tweet about Dolly Parton. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just listen to the original version of I Will Always Love You.
Sure.
I like that better than the Whitney Houston one.
Yeah. It's more subtle and sweeter.
It's like the Whitney Houston one is like right after, the event and it's like, being very performative about it. And then the Dolly Parton one is just very genuine. Mm-hmm. It's very nice. I need to listen to more Dolly Parton.
Everybody should.
Dolly Parton.
The world would be a better place.
She's a treasure. Mm-hmm. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. I hope we never find out anything bad about her.
I think the world is finding who she really is. I think a lot of her career.
The big reveals about her have been that she's
awesome.
That she's been even more awesome than we thought she was.
Right.
That's been all of the big reveals and exposés about Dolly Parton. It's not awful things. It's awesome things.
Right.
That she's just been doing on the down low because she doesn't care about getting attention for it.
Well, sure. And the thing is, this is sad. A lot of her fan base, it would be negative attention.
Yeah.
Some of the things she's done. I mean,
they would think less. They would think less of her for it, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are a lot of people who probably would never have described themselves as Dolly Parton fans who are now going like, you know what? Dolly Parton fucking rocks.
Yeah. I hadn't really checked out her music before, but damn, I'm gonna watch Rhinestone Cowboy and Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Have you ever watched that?
I have not watched that.
That's a great movie.
I'm gonna go to Dollywood. If I get a chance at some point, I'll go to Dollywood.
Sure.
Wherever that is in Tennessee. I don't remember what town that is. But anyway, I've been to Tennessee before.
So I've been through it.
I've been through Tennessee.
I was in a traffic jam in Nashville.
And
it was funny. I was in Nashville, and I'm like, for some reason, this doesn't seem so bad. I'm in a traffic jam, but something about the feeling of the city.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I've never been to Nashville. I went through we went through Memphis, and we were going to National Speech in Alabama. Mm-hmm. And we stopped at Graceland, of course. Mm-hmm. And that was neat. Graceland was interesting.
Nice. So you were just walking in Memphis?
I was walking in Memphis. I'm Vince Neil. Okay, let's get back on this.
Overkill.
Score. Do you think this slaps?
Yeah, of course it slaps.
Yeah, this slaps.
It slaps a lot.
Score found 80-ish, as with many albums that are not considered bad.
Right. Well, and this is a very meat and potatoes thrash album.
Yeah,
it's nothing out of the box.
There's nothing crazy going on here.
No,
this is just well executed, well written thrash. There's nothing. There's nothing to be worried about, but there's also nothing to be like, oh my god, I've never heard this before. It's just it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What's your favorite song on this album?
The one that always sticks out in my head is Elimination.
That is their highest rated song on Spotify, by the way.
It's a great song. And
I couldn't help thinking of Daleks throughout that.
Really?
Where instead of saying exterminate, they're saying eliminate.
Also, Skull Crusher. That song sticks out of my head a lot. I mean, they use the devil's tritone in that. They sort of...
It sticks out, but I got to be perfectly honest. I got about 6 minutes in. Mm-hmm. Or no, it's a 10-minute song. I got about 7 or 8 minutes in.
Yeah. You got bored with it?
I got so bored. That's when the band we're talking about next week, that's when I went to go look for something to listen to because I couldn't think of anything that I wanted to listen to next week. And I was like, I got to find something else. I got it was the first 5 minutes. I was like, ooh, a doom metal track.
Right.
It's very doomy. And I was like, this is okay. They're doing something different here. And it just got old for me.
Because it changes up. I mean, it becomes like different songs within it. It doesn't have that cohesion necessarily. But I love that doom metal part.
It made me feel kind of bad because it was like this is a new taste to the palate. But then I was just like, come on, just get back to the thrash. I'm bored. I'm bored. I was also doing logs at the time, and it was like 2:00. And that's around the time where I really, really, really want to take a nap desperately. So I made myself some coffee.
Sure.
And it's like started looking for different stuff to listen to before I got back into Overkill.
Was this here at the station?
This was here. This was today. But I wanted to like that more, and maybe at some other point,
sure,
I could.
Maybe you'd have to be in the mood for it.
I could get more into the mood for it and appreciate it as it probably deserves. But earlier today, it was just not.
It was not happening. You listened to the rest of the album, though, right?
Yes, I did.
Because there's great songs after that.
Yes, there are a lot of great songs. Yeah. In fact, the one that I chose comes after, which is The Birth of Tension.
Yes, great song.
That's what I picked as my favorite. I really like the main riff in that. There's a lot of really good riffs in that. I generally like the second half of this album more than the first.
Nice.
Generally speaking. There's one song that really reminded me of Slayer. I can't name it off the top of my head. Let me look at it here.
I'm trying to think of what song sounds like Slayer.
There's one that it felt like Slayer to me. I don't know why. Years of Decay. So it would have been
not Years of Decay. That's a
no. It wasn't that one. It probably would have been Who Tends the Fire or Evil Never Dies. It would have been one of those.
Probably Evil Never Dies.
Yeah, that it felt like Slayer to me.
Yep.
Just very, very fast and chaotic and just very a lot of fun and just kind of sloppy but controlled is how I would generally describe Slayer. Most of that is the sloppy part just comes to mind because of Carey's guitar solos, generally speaking, which are intentionally that way.
But and Jeff's were the same. I mean,
yeah. But it's that's what they mean to do, and it sounds awesome. But it's like it's hard to describe it as it's either chaotic or it's sloppy. It's those are the terms. These are the words. We can't remember that. That's what the guy who played Kramer. What's that actor's name?
Oh yeah, fuck is his name?
I can't remember his name. When he decided, you know what I'm gonna do here in this modern era, say an extremely offensive word on stage in my comedy show, and then just follow it up with "These are the words." Good job, dude.
Good job. The hell's his name? Why am I forgetting his name?
I don't remember his name.
Off the top of my head.
I don't remember it either. What medal are you bestowing upon this, like Mascanada to Chewbacca?
It was very important to me, so I give it a gold.
I'm giving this a silver, just because I feel like this is such a trend with me with thrash albums that we listen to. I like this. This is good. This is not a bad album,
right?
But it's just not. It doesn't. It's not
gold medal for you.
It doesn't grab me,
right?
But I have, I'm fully aware that I have sort of weird proclivities and tastes in music, and I have a type when it comes to metal that I like. Thrash does not generally fit into that. But it doesn't mean I don't enjoy it.
Right. I mean, you've given gold to some thrash albums we've had.
Yes. I can't name them off the top of my head, but I know I have.
I know Sepultura, you gave a gold to that.
Yeah. Oh, that's arguably more of a kind of like, at that point, sort of alt metal in a way.
Kind of, yeah.
That album itself was thrashy. I guess they got more alt metal as they went along.
They did. You have to give Roots a listen.
I think I have. Yeah. I liked Roots. I'm pretty sure I've listened to it. It's a good album. At the very least, I've listened to the title track.
Right.
But
Roots. Bloody Roots.
Yeah, I've listened to that, and I like that. I'm pretty sure I've listened to the rest of the album, but it's been a while. But so next week, I previewed you a little bit of this.
You did. You didn't tell what the name of the band was.
Kardashev is the name of the band. Kardashev, which is a term relating to, I think it's some science fiction concept of the advancement of technology. I don't remember where they're from. I didn't do very much research on the band. I was earlier today. I opened up Spotify and went to the song radio for Adore by Numenorian.
Right.
Just because I was in a rut, and I've been in a rut for a while of like, I have not found any new music that really compels me since about December. And so I just wanted to find something new. And I came across this band called Kardashev, which has this really really interesting combination of sort of very relaxed, ethereal male vocals and sort of spacey, sort of progressive guitar riffs mixed with the grossest, crunchiest, just most guttural vocals and deathcore riffs. It's a type of band I've come across before. It sort of reminds me of a more masculine version of like Ginger or something like that. Ginger leans more into the prog side of things, whereas this is more like gent and deathcore and stuff like that. But I listened to the rest of the album it's called The Almanac. Came out in 2019. Oh no, it's 2017. Really? They have a new single out that came out this year. And I imagine a new album coming out soon, but their most recent full album available came out in 2017. Sure. The Almanac by Kardashev, which is what we're going to be talking about next week. All right. It's a weird sort of thing. It's very in my wheelhouse. Extremely. It's a very Kale album. Sure. So we'll get to that next time. Until we get to that, got a bubble in my throat again. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I've been talking a lot. My mouth is a little dry. There's a beer. It is. I got a lot of bubbles in my mouth, and then I swallow them, and then the bubble goes in my throat and makes me sound weird. Hi, I'm Kale. I'm Vince Neil. What if Vince Neil talked like that? Anyway, till our next episode comes out, visit our social media pages on Facebook and on Twitter. Give them a follow if you like. We don't really post anything in there to keep you engaged as a fan. No, we don't care. We don't care. But we will post new episode links there if you want to listen to us on your browser. Otherwise, find us on your mobile device. Or YouTube. If you like. We are on Libsyn and on their mobile service, the Podcast Source. Otherwise, we're on iOS, the podcast app. So check us out there. Subscribe. Give us a like. Give us a review, some stars, whatever you like. Go ahead and do that. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. I'm Kale. I'm OJ. Congratulations.